The Democrats are in full panic mode right now, and you're about to find out why.
Saw a little blurb update today on Epstein. It was showing a photo of him at Disney. He's sitting down at the table, piglets behind him. It's him and another guy sitting down, and this guy is holding this girl, like by her arms like this. That same girl is in another photo with Epstein. They're on the plane. She's like she's sleeping, she's laying down, and he's holding her like this. Then, come to find out, Disney sent kids to his island for snorkeling trips for like 9 years.
Snorkeling. Holy shit,
and
that
their cruise ships made stops at his island all the time.
Dude.
Snorkeling trips. Seriously, Disney? Now, this is definitely on par with Disney's agenda, I guess. Meaning, with all of the progressive movements and agendas that they've been trying to implement within their content, especially with the way that they're trying to indoctrinate our children, this isn't far-fetched. But to know that these guys transported our children to a known pedophile or black pedophile, I don't care what you want to say, took him to his island. That says a lot, man. Disney definitely need to be held accountable, and I can't wait for these files to be declassified because Hollywood will be exposed. As you see right here, half of Hollywood is about to go to prison when Cash Patel releases the Epstein client list, which they are trying to delay this man from being able to be in that position. You have Adam Schiff, who we're going to be talking about, and why he's still terrified of granting that nomination. And yeah, man, we got a lot to dive into as it pertains to Epstein and Cash Patel and the victims and everything that's in between. Gunther Eagleman said they all should go to jail, that is. And of course, we got all these different memes, and we don't even never see the replies in the comment section no more. It's always just a bunch of spam. Anyhow, Dinesh D'Souza posted, "Who here wants the Epstein files released?" Now, this was actually posted last year before. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, this was actually posted, November, right after the big win when Pam Bondi, who was nominated at the time, said she was going to go after anybody that were trying to hide them.
I want to know why AG Garland and the Justice Department are so quiet on this tonight. You know, they're out there labeling parents domestic terrorists, yet they're saying nothing about this. And these documents were so slow to come out. Human trafficking is a multi-billion-dollar business in this country, and Jeffrey Epstein is dead, and Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison for 20 years where she belongs. And if people in that report are still fighting to keep their names private, Sean, they have no legal basis to do so unless they're a child, a victim, or a cooperating defendant by some chance against some potential case against Ghislaine Maxwell. And I think Mark Garagos, as a great criminal defense attorney, will back that up as well. Yeah,
Ghislaine Maxwell deserves everything that's coming her way as well if she was an accomplice in this blackmail ring and trafficking ring with Jeffrey Epstein. I don't know too much about her background personally, but we're going to dive into it more here so I can gain a new level of understanding in all facets of this situation. The Jeffrey Epstein files are finally going to be released in 10 days. 14-year-old Jeffrey Epstein victim says Epstein and Ghislaine, how you say that name? I just said it. Ghislaine Maxwell raped her at least 20 to 30 times at the same time. She got pregnant by Epstein, got an abortion, and was then threatened gang rape. They then put a gun to her head and dropped her off naked on her grandparents' lawn. What? I mean, it sounds like what, right? But wow.
Jeffrey Epstein's longtime friend, Ghislaine Maxwell, is in federal custody after her arrest on child sex abuse charges. As one woman is speaking out in an exclusive interview with Fox News, accusing Maxwell of raping her along with Epstein when she was just 14 years old. Brian Yennis has more on this. Brian.
Julie, good afternoon. This is the first time that this woman is speaking publicly about her rapes. She says that Ghislaine Maxwell is just as evil as Jeffrey Epstein. She claims that the rapes began when she was 14 years old in Florida and went all the way through until she was 16. She says Maxwell not only facilitated her sexual abuse by Jeffrey Epstein, but she claims Maxwell abused her at the same time with Epstein. She also said Maxwell would abuse her one-on-one, coaching her how to have sex with men.
Oh my gosh.
She did rape me. I would say it's more than 20 or 30 times. She is a rapist, destroyed what was supposed to be the best years of my life, being a teenager, being a cheerleader.
Jane Doe said the abuse ended only after she became pregnant with Jeffrey Epstein's baby at age 16. She said she got an abortion, but suspecting that she told her grandparents about that abortion and fearful that she'd go to the authorities, Jane Doe claims Maxwell, Epstein, and others gang raped her one last time before a driver dropped her off naked on her grandparents' lawn.
Galen was a part of it, and Jeffrey Epstein was a part of it, and I was drugged, gang raped, and left on the lawn, and they put a gun to me. And the man that drove me home said I would never come back alive if I spoke about it.
She says Maxwell threatened her and her family if she ever spoke about it. She said she was recruited by a friend and introduced to Epstein and Maxwell, who promised to help her modeling career.
Wow.
Now that Maxwell is in custody, Jane Doe says she wants to be a witness in her upcoming trial. She is willing to take the stand to help New York federal prosecutors put Ghislaine Maxwell away. We reached out to Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney, Julie, who said about these specific allegations, quote, "No comment."
Ghislaine Maxwell. She deserves everything that's coming her way for sure. Trump Gunner says the Epstein release could finally expose the deep corruption. It's about time justice is served and the real culprits behind the scandal face consequences. Let's hope it's not just a political distraction. I hope so as well. I hope that this is actually something that's going to be moving forward with Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, and Kash Patel if he gets nominated. If they quit playing, I mean, if they can just quit playing and get this process over with. Tulsi Gabbard, congratulations to her. I just heard that she won her nomination. But yeah, cannot wait. All cash, no credit is Freemason slogan right here. He put breaking Epstein files will be released on the first day of Kash Patel's tenure as FBI director, says Glenn Beck. Transparency in the government is all we ask. You know, Ian Carroll posted, yes, we want the Epstein client list, but we want Epstein collaborators too. I think that was very important to note. We want everybody who's working in conjunction with Epstein, all the culprits, everybody. They all should be held accountable. I don't care how many years later this stuff took place. They should all be held accountable. If y'all can go after Trump for what y'all did, don't forget that this, as this goes forward, Epstein didn't work for himself. Never thought about that. Who did Epstein work for? I don't know. Was it Bill Clinton?
Bill Clinton. Nice guy. Got a lot of problems coming up, in my opinion, with the famous island with Jeffrey Epstein. A lot of problems.
Yeah. I don't know if it could be him. That was a cool little way to segue to that clip right there. Nothing is cool about this topic, though, obviously. Now, Wall Street Apes posted, finally, the Jeffrey Epstein files are being released. In the next 10 days, you're going to see the Epstein files released. Day number 1, Kash Patel walks in. By the end of the day, it will be released. Glenn Beck again. Why did I repeat that? I don't know. Crucify me in the comments for it.
I have spent the last 17 years in my own prison for what she, Jeffrey, and all the co-conspirators did to me. I was raped repeatedly. I was raped 3 times a day sometimes. And I was not the only girl on that island. There was a constant stream of girls being raped over and over and over again. And yes, Ghislaine must die in prison because I've been in hell and back for the last 17 years.
And 27 for me.
I was 10 years old when Liz Stein was being trafficked. I was 10. That is how long the sex trafficking ring has been going on.
Now, this was during Ghislaine Maxwell's sentencing, where they, I don't know how many years she got today, but they said she was facing 30 to 55, which means she'll likely die in jail, right? Oh, anybody oppose that? Not for ruining these children's lives like that, man. We don't care what happens at this point. The worst needs to happen. Everything that's coming your way. Now, Anna Paulina Luna to lead the House Oversight Task Force on declassification of federal secrets, including JFK's assassination, the Epstein list, and more. This is from the Alex Jones War Room.
Trump has just signed an executive order mandating federal agencies to cooperate and work with the Department of Government Efficiency. Now, I got all kinds of news out of Doge. And then you got Democrats and Democrat activists and implants posing as judges, doing everything they can to stop Doge. So I got news on that. They're doing everything they can to keep Doge away from all of the evidence of their crimes. And that's what's going on here. And Musk has all but said that exact thing in the last 24 hours multiple times. Then I've got Anna Paulina Luna coming out, running a declassification subcommittee. She says there were 2 shooters at the assassination of JFK. 2 shooters. Here she was announcing all the declassification agenda she has at a press conference moments ago.
With the stroke of a pen, he committed to declassifying the files concerning the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy, and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. A decision not just monumental, but pivotal. It is with profound honor that I have been entrusted by Speaker Mike Johnson and Chairman James Comer to lead the House Oversight Task Force on declassification of federal secrets. Together with the help of the White House, our intelligence allies, the Department of Defense, the Department of Justice, we will be conducting investigations into the following: the assassinations of JFK, RFK, and Dr. Martin Luther King, unidentified aerial phenomena, also known as UAPs, unidentified submerged objects, also known as USOs, the Epstein client list, the origins of COVID-19, and the 9/11 files. This task force will be a beacon of bipartisanship. On the Republican side, Representatives Burchett, Boebert, Burleson, Crane, Gill, and Mace will be joining me, although I'd like to note that I'm expanding this to the entire governing body and will be allowing certain members to waive on. Our first hearing is set for March. The date will be announced soon, and we've already initiated close to a dozen communications with various agencies, to include Pam Bondi at the Department of Justice and the Secretary of State. This will no longer be a task force that makes bold promises only to fade into irrelevance or send strongly worded letters. This will be a relentless pursuit of truth and transparency, and we will not stop until the American people have the answers they deserve. We will cut through the bureaucracy, challenge the stonewalling, and ensure that the American people finally get the truth that they have been denied for too long. If we are to endure and thrive as a nation, we must restore trust through transparency. The American people must be trusted to think for themselves, to form their own judgments from the truth that they are entitled to know. We've been treated like children for too long and kept in the dark by those we elected to serve us. It is my solemn duty to begin mending this trust, to form a new relationship between the government and the governed. Let us embark on this journey together towards a government that does not serve, but one that enlightens. That does not just serve, but one that enlightens. Trust through transparency
Now, that was just a short clip from the longer press conference where she...
I don't know where that music is coming from, so I'm going to stop it and sum it up for him. Yes, that was, Ann, how do you say her name? Anna Paulina Luna. I don't know too much about her background, but she says she's going to be working with Pam Bondi and the Trump administration, and also she's initiated contact with these agencies in order to already get the ball rolling with this Epstein list. This is it. All we're looking for, man, is transparency. She spoke about that, and I think that this level of transparency for the Democrats is just crazy uncomfortable, and they know that we inching closer and closer and closer and closer to their files. So they're doing everything they possibly can, but I think it's going to backfire in the end. And on top of that, everything that they're doing now is going to be looked into like with the rock eye, like we see why you was wilding out. Your little hing was over here doing a little hing. Anyhow, this was posted yesterday that Kash Patel says that, quote, if Adam Schiff is guilty of any of the 256 emails with Jeffrey Epstein, I will personally ensure that he faces the full consequences of the law and is held accountable for his actions. Do you support this? I personally do. Let me know in the comments, though. Now, we remember Adam Schiff as somebody who was melting down, asking and Kash Patel very, very aggressively, like, are you going to look into the Epstein list and all that type of stuff?
He, Adam Schiff, the single most person who is responsible for spreading disinformation on Russiagate, saying he had evidence Donald Trump colluded with Russia, saying the intelligence community had all this information, and then going out to the mainstream media and feeding them these lies because they were in bed with him to spread a false narrative for 4 years and bamboozle the world into believing that Russiagate actually happened and Donald Trump conspired with Russia. It was a total falsehood. Adam Schiff knew it at the time. I was running the Russiagate investigation. He was the leader of the minority on the House Intel Committee. Devin Nunes was then chairman. He had access to all the information we had access to. The transcripts are the best example. The 60 some odd transcripts that I took at depositions of cabinet secretaries, Intel officials, DOJ, FBI, Fusion GPS, all the like. We finally forced those deposition transcripts to light, and what did they show? The headline, Adam Schiff knew the entire time there was no factual basis to perpetuate the Russiagate narrative. So when a guy like that issues this tweet, I just think America should pause and say, the King Kong of disinformation is now coming up and saying he's all of a sudden scared that Twitter is going to be the landing ground for disinformation, when you and I have been talking about it rightly so over the last few years. Twitter has been the ground where people spread defamation, where people attack others mercilessly. And Twitter's hypocrisy on who they let on their platform and who they kick out has been on full display for years. They've suspended folks like, obviously, President Trump, Babylon Bee, and all these other journalists who were actually doing fact-based reporting because they had the audacity to say...
Now, this was just obviously an interaction, and interaction with him talking about Adam Schiff. However, I hate that they cut this clip off when they did. The point is, Adam Schiff is definitely in panic mode right now because he's somebody who's been spreading misinformation super heavy about Donald Trump and a lot of things that represent or that are centered around Donald Trump. But he was also at the hearing questioning Kash Patel super heavy about whether or not he's going to be going after that client list and things of that nature, or going after specific people on that client list and things of that nature. So, yeah, he's pretty terrified right now. I would be too if I was Schiff, right? Just do right, man. Just do right by people. You won't have to worry about none of this. Now, Real Robert posted, and this is the director of the Central Intelligence Agency, John, how you say that, Ratcliffe? Now, he says, Schiff, not once, not twice, but 3 times attempted to overthrow the sitting president of the United States, Donald Trump. CIA, John Ratcliffe, FBI Kash Patel, plus FBI Kash Patel equal Adam Schiff straight to prison.
Well, again, think about it this way, Bill. Yesterday, Democrats passed a resolution to give Chairman Schiff the most authority in the impeachment process moving forward. Adam Schiff is someone who has tried to impeach the president not once, not twice, but now 3 times. The first time he accused the president of treason and said he had evidence to support collusion with Russia. That wasn't true. Then he said we should impeach the president because he obstructed justice and promised Bob Mueller would breathe life into that.
Wasn't true.
Until Bob Mueller admitted that his obstruction analysis was under a legal standard and burden of proof that didn't exist. So now we're on to fake impeachment effort number 3, surrounded by a whistleblower who first met with, yeah, that's right, the staff of Chairman Schiff. The details of that haven't been released. Chairman Schiff won't release the Inspector General's sworn testimony, which will confirm the contacts between Chairman Schiff and the whistleblower. It's like this, Bill. If we had a trial, the person who planted fake evidence shouldn't be the one ruling on the admissibility of fake evidence.
Amen to that. I'm going to just tell y'all like this. We need Cash Patel to go and get up in there. As Black Bite says, we have a traitor who is clearly actively attempting to destroy our constitutional right to have our duty elected president to do his actual job. So why isn't this guy being prosecuted? Go get him. Please, somebody. Why is he not arrested? Obviously, this conversation went from Epstein, and then we pointed out to Cash Patel and Adam Schiff, and then it kind of leaned over into Adam Schiff being corrupt and things of that nature. And I think that's perfectly fine. The point of this whole video is that we're trying to eliminate the corruption within the deep state. And I'm glad to see these people are being held accountable. I'm glad that Doge is doing exactly what Doge is supposed to do in terms of checking in all of these agencies and bringing things to the light that we normally would never see. Next on the list is this Epstein list. I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready for it. Somebody said now we will get 4 years of committee hearings until people go to prison that this nation cannot heal, for sure. Stop with the BS and and the rest, Schiff. Too good to be true. If they do, huh? See you in the next video.